Hey everyone, welcome to Carrie's Garage, and on this episode, we're going to check out a 71 Cadillac Convertible right after this. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by Route 66 Auctions, and that's actually where we're at. We're doing a bunch of videos for all the cars in the auction for this month, and the sun is right in my eyes, a little bit better. So this is one of the cars that's in the auction. Down in the description is the link for the auction and for the sponsor. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at this vehicle because it's really interesting. So the Eldorado is a front-wheel drive car. It has a very big V8, 8.2 liter V8, but it's front-wheel drive. And the way they did it is really, really fascinating. So we're gonna open up the hood and we're gonna take a look. Honestly, look at the size of this thing. It's for a two-door convertible, it's a big car. And this hood, it goes on. It's really long. Got the 8.2 liter badge down here, original Cadillac hubcaps. These are actually lamps that turn on when you turn the signal on. So left side, that turns on right side, and it floods the area of light so you can see where you're turning. A couple of my cars have that. I don't know, it's kind of more gimmicky than anything else, but some new cars have it. The original Cadillac with the Cadillac mirror right there. Got this touch of the kind of a fake vent. Wheel covers back here. What's interesting is I noticed these vents, they're actually open. They're real. Got the tail lamps back here. Really interesting design cue. Say sorry about the sun. There's really not much I can really do about that right now. Got Eldorado. That's where the gas goes, right behind the license plate. Really common of this era as well. Got the Cadillac crest. Open up the trunk. If I do it from the back here, I can try and keep my shadow out as much as I can. I'm not going to put the convertible top down. I just don't really want to mess with it or mess anything up. They say it does work. It's a little bit slow. Now let's take a look under the hood. We'll talk about this very interesting engine and how it's set up. And you have to watch me opening this thing up because this is a big hood. Oh God. There's so much length of hood. There's so much metal here. It just amazes me, this era of cars, just how big they are and how heavy things are. But under here is the engine. And let me pull in a little bit closer and we'll talk about it some because it is fascinating. So here is the 8.2 liter, very big V8. But I don't know if it really shows much on the camera, but there's quite a gap between the engine and the firewall right here. That's because the transmission is actually right there. It's underneath the driver's side of the engine. So the engine actually sits slightly off center, and there's a gigantic chain that comes off the back of the engine that goes into the transmission. Then you got the transmission, and then your half shafts are up here. Got your big air conditioning compressor right there, power steering pump, you know, all the usual things. But yeah, such an interesting thing to see how the layout and how they made a big V8 sit normal, but be front wheel drive. And that's the Oldsmobile Tornado, the Eldorados, you know, a lot of this platform had the same stuff. This is what they came out with it for. And I believe they started with the Tornado in '66, if I remember right. If I'm wrong, let me know, but seems to be that's what that is. And my GMC actually, that's an Oldsmobile Tornado front wheel drive, same kind of setup. So let me pull you in and take you a little bit of a closer look. So you see the big AC compressor, and also a really interesting thing is the battery actually sits right in front of the radiator core support in the headlight. That's a really common thing. My '62 Cadillac had that exact same setup. Got the radiator condenser, looks like an extra cooler up there. Yeah, so engine. I don't know how much of it comes through, but the torque converter's in there, and then it's connected to a big chain that goes on there. And then let's see. The transmission's actually right there. And I don't know if it'll really come through, but the engine is actually slightly off center because of the transmission being on the driver's side. Pretty wild setup, honestly. Let's take a look on the inside. Big, heavy doors. Kind of a nice caramel interior. Got interior by Fleetwood, body by Fisher. So many of these cars had that. Got switches for your windows. Your wipers control's actually on the door panel. I did that on a lot of the Cadillacs. Really interesting. Simulated wood grain paneling here. Climb into the cockpit. You got your light switch, your climate control goodies, instrument panel, shifter, Cadillac crest on the steering wheel. Not a radio. Oh, and this is actually the control for the passenger mirror, and the driver's one is right there. Got your clock. It's a 70s Cadillac. Now, see if it starts up. Got plenty of dummy lights. They love those in this era. I don't even want to fathom the kind of fuel mileage that an 8.2 liter V8 gets in one of these. You know, one of the things that, I'll turn it off, we have to remember about this era of cars, fuel was inexpensive. No one really cared about fuel mileage. You could have a big boat that got terrible fuel mileage. My Lincoln gets 8 or 9 miles to the gallon, but it's so comfortable and I love driving it. But at today's modern fuel prices, it is a little rough. I know there's some stuff you can do to tune these things to kind of, make it a little bit better, but you still have to deal with the fact it's a big engine. So, yeah, overall, pretty cool car. And it's pretty big for a convertible. So, yeah. Pretty neat. Can't lie. Oh, let me show you one thing. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So, yeah. Tilt steering. Some of the later ones, like my Cadillac, actually has telescope. It has a little thing here and it pulls in and out. So, I missed something. I was wrong. This actually does have telescoping. So look. You're just kind of hid behind the steering wheel right there. And of course, you can't have a big car like this and not look in the trunk. Looks like you got some parts in here, another hubcap, car cover. And yeah, you definitely could lay somebody out right here. Big trunk. And one of the other interesting things about this era of cars, even my 85 Cadillac has it, it's got these here. So there's actually like little fiber optic pieces that go up to turn signals, headlights, high beams and whatnot, and they just very delicately blink. And some of the early cars, like my 62, it didn't even have an inside indicator. They only would show out here, but they were quite a bit bigger. Yeah, so here is the Cadillac. Man, I just gotta say, that's one heck of a big car. And a two-door convertible. Man, the 70s, they like to make big stuff. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. Just a quick little review detail video of the 71 Cadillac Eldorado Convertible. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.